Jump Magic here, with another set of secrets you can use on Killing Floor 2's Elysium map. In this map, which has been called Tron or Glitch, the group will often run a circle around the outer edge of the map. You'll find that it is much better to run in the counterclockwise direction than the clockwise direction. The reason for this are the spawn points, which are mostly in the corners of the map. One of the corners is hidden from both directions, but 3 of the corners are open in both directions. Tripwire had to make a choice, and they chose to put the spawn point on the clockwise side, meaning if you are approaching the corner in a clockwise direction, the spawn point is hidden from your approach, and so the Zeds will be spawned right in front of you. If you are approaching from the counterclockwise side, the spawn point will be visible, and no Zeds can spawn there. Instead, they will spawn at other points which are far away, and you'll encounter them in smaller groups because of the difference in their walking speed. In this map, which may be called Desert, the spawn points are in the corners of the map. A group will often attempt to run in a circle around the outer edges, which is actually the less desirable choice, because the spawn point will be right in front of you as you approach one of the lower corners. If your group is capable of camping the lower corner, the Zeds will be forced to spawn on the other side of the map and walk over. If you are still forced to go run and gun, avoid running the length of the southern side and start your northbound part of the run in the middle section. In the Loremaster Sanctum, the spawn points are high up in the corners and midpoints of the sides of the map. 2 of the sides have these large overhead beams that are rooted in the middle of the wall, and so there is no spawn point, as Zeds would get stuck on the beam if they were jumping down. These 2 points are the best places to camp so that Zeds are not dropping down next to you. Sharpshooters and medics could hang out in these green areas while the rest of the team runs around the center pyramid. In the forest map, the group will often start out defending the roof where you spawn in. However, I find that the smaller house, a slight walk down, is a better place to camp, especially if you have a melee class in your group. The reason for using this particular house is that it is large enough for explosive arming distance, meaning a demo can use an RPG from the back of the house. You want your melee class to stand a bit to the right of the doorway and swing before the Zeds come through the door. He'll be able to hit Zeds before they are far enough in the doorway to hit back, which stumbles them for a few seconds, and you can shoot them down. The downside for this camp is that there is no escape route if a lot of them get in, so it is a slightly more risky call. You may be able to draw them to one side of the room, throw some grenades, and sneak out the door. There are some outhouse-sized sheds in a cluster, and the properties of the shed rate a larger explanation. If all the living players stand in the shed, then it becomes a normal defense like an elevator defense that I've mentioned in another video. During a Scrake-only wave, things work a bit differently, and you have an opportunity to troll Scrakes. If you are standing on the other side of a door, ideally by the hinged side, a Scrake has to position itself in a particular spot in order to open the door, as if it needs to grab the doorknob or handle. This is not like bosses that can simply bump into the door and break it by damaging the door. Now, you control the Zed by closing the door as soon as it opens. Smaller Zeds would try to walk through the door right after it opens, but unraged Scrakes take a second or 2 to open the door and then to walk through. If you're fast enough, you can close the door before it walks in, and it will confuse the Scrake. It won't try to open the door again until something changes significantly, either your position or the position of the Scrake. If it manages to walk slightly through the doorway, it will keep trying to open the door. If you prevent it from walking in, though, it will go chase after other players, as it doesn't know how to get to you because it was not able to both open the door and attack you. Now, if there are other Skrakes standing next to the Skrake whose hand is on the knob, it will block them from getting into the position where they can grasp the knob of the door, while they will block the Skrake holding the handle from moving. They will all be deadlocked and unable to move. You can kill Skrakes by shooting through the window, and none of them can move unless you kill the Skrake that is in the position to grasp the knob. If that Skrake dies, a different Skrake will try to get into the position where it can grasp the handle and then try to open the door. You control that Skrake too by immediately closing the door. Is this map the one called Void? Anyway, there is one great spot to take advantage of, and it is mostly useful during a Skrake-only wave. You can double jump using a kaboom stick or double-barreled shotgun up on this island by the brick wall to this tiny ledge. Zeds have to jump up onto the ledge in order to hit you, although you are exposed to any ranged Zeds like Edars, Husks, Sirens, and Bloats. The ledge is so small that if you stumble a Zed there, it will fall back down to the floor below. Melee weapons will still reach them on the floor below, so you can kill them while they are whiffing at the rock you are standing on. If you hit a Zed in the act of jumping, it is an automatic stumble and it will fall down to the lower level. There is a spot in the castle map that is out of reach for certain Zed attacks. The space above the doors of the center room have an invisible wall and an invisible floor. You can move diagonally from the stairs behind the invisible wall and stand on the invisible floor. This is what it looks like in third person. The invisible floor is high enough that Zeds that attack with horizontal swings, like Skrakes and Pounds, cannot hit you, whereas Zeds that attack with overhead swings, like Clots, can hit you. You are still open to Edars, Bloats, Sirens, and Husks, and there is the possibility that a Skrake will jump through the invisible wall and step on your head, which is an instant player death. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you later on the killing floor.